So I want to start off first with Claressa Shields playing victim. How you gonna sit here and play victim at the MVP event and you walked over there to Alicia Baumgardner? Everybody keeps saying Alicia Baumgardner told her she'll beat her up right now. But y'all not talking about how Claressa took her happy-go-lucky, billy-goat-looking ass over there to that girl. The girl wouldn't even say nothing to her if she wouldn't have made her way over there to where Baumgardner was. So all this, you contributed to the boxing sport. You participated. You were an asset to that sport. Girl, you walked over there to
Geisha 305 is speaking out about what she believes is the greatest detail many people are overlooking. According to her, Claressa Shields made the decision to step into the situation on her own. No one invited her over, no one approached her first, and no one forced the interaction. Because of that, Geisha argues it's unfair to later present herself as the victim after voluntarily getting involved. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're having a great day. Before we get started, remember that this video is based on publicly available statements and social media discussions. Everything shared here is intended for commentary, analysis, and entertainment purposes. Now, let's get into what sparked this latest debate. Geisha doesn't waste any time explaining her position. She claims that after the recent MVP event, Claressa has been presenting herself as the one who was wronged. However, Geisha believes there's one key fact that keeps getting ignored. According to her, Claressa was the person who chose to walk over to Alicia Baumgardner. She says Alicia never came to Claressa's table, never invited a confrontation, and never made the first move. Instead, Geisha argues that Claressa got up and approached Alicia on her own. From Geisha's perspective, that single decision changed everything. She believes that if Claressa had simply stayed where she was, the encounter and the controversy that followed might never have happened. That's the central point Geisha continues to emphasize, insisting that this part of the story deserves just as much attention as everything that's happened afterward.
So I want to start off first with Claressa Shields playing victim. How you gonna sit here and play victim at the MVP event and you walked over there to Alicia Baumgardner? Everybody keeps saying Alicia Baumgardner told her she'll beat her up right now. But y'all not talking about how Claressa took her happy-go-lucky, billy-goat-looking ass over there to that girl. The girl wouldn't even say nothing to her if she wouldn't have made her way over there to where Baumgardner was. So all this, you contributed to the boxing sport. You participated. You were an asset to that sport. Girl, you walked over there to
But this is where the conversation moves beyond a simple disagreement and becomes much more personal. According to Geisha, this is the point where she stops holding back and says exactly what she thinks is really driving the controversy. Rather than focusing only on what happened at the event, Geisha argues that the bigger issue goes much deeper. In her opinion, the ongoing online discussion surrounding the allegations involving a married man is what truly struck a nerve with Claressa. Geisha believes that hearing those comments about Claressa's personal relationship in front of a public crowd made the situation impossible for her to ignore. Instead of walking away or choosing not to respond, she says Claressa decided to confront the issue directly. According to Geisha, that decision changed everything. She argues that by approaching the situation face-to-face in the middle of a major sporting event, what could have remained a brief exchange quickly turned into a much larger controversy. From Geisha's perspective, the confrontation didn't have to happen. She believes the situation could have ended very differently if everyone had simply gone their separate ways. But once the interaction became public, it immediately fueled even more discussion across social media.
Her wouldn't have got into words if you would have just stayed where the fuck you was. But you was so mad about what her opinion was about you around here parading around with a married man. You call yourself trying to step to that lady. You call yourself trying to step to her because she talked about some truth. And you was like, oh, mind your business. Don't worry about my relationship. Girl, you're not in a relationship. You in a sticky situation with a married man. Planning to have a bastard child next year from a married man that's still not divorced. So how you going to be pissed off? And then, oh my God. What's his name? Lil Duval? Lil Duval, shut the fuck up. You don't even know what the fuck you talking about. Lil Duval gonna talk about something. oh, how you gonna tell that girl that you gonna fight her right now? But then when she slapped you, call the police. First of all, she didn't slap her, she slapped her arm. So that means her aim ain't really good. I see why they call her T-Rex, because her reaching.
According to Geisha, everything that happened afterwards stems from that initial decision. She argues that once someone leaves their own space and walks over to another person during a public event, they've already set the interaction in motion. Geisha continues emphasizing this point because she feels many people are overlooking it while focusing on everything that happened afterward. In her opinion, the first move matters more than the reactions that followed. No matter how the story is discussed across social media or retold in different interviews, Geisha insists her position hasn't changed. She maintains that Claressa was the one who initiated the encounter by approaching Alicia, and that's why she disagrees with narratives that portray Claressa as someone who was simply caught up in the controversy. From Geisha's perspective, that single decision remains the key detail at the center of the entire debate. Whether people agree with her or not, it's the argument she continues to stand behind as the online conversation shows no signs of slowing down.
Claressa Shields walked over there to her. You was the problem, Claressa. I don't care how you try to dress it up, how you try to say it, how you try to break it down. You walked over there to Alicia Baumgardner. If you would have never walked over there to her, that situation would have never happened. You came over there like a bully. You was a bully. You was banned because you was a bully. And right now, you don't like the fact that everybody riding you all over the internet because you banned. So you feel like if you just tell your side of the story and you write this letter professionally, how, you were attacked. No, you wasn't attacked. The person that walks over to the person is the initiator. You initiated the whole situation when you walked over there to Alicia.
According to Geisha, this wasn't simply an attempt to clear the air or have a calm conversation. She believes Claressa approached the situation with a confrontational attitude from the very beginning, setting the tone before much had even been said. In Geisha's view, Claressa tried to shut down another accomplished athlete instead of having a respectful exchange. She argues that the interaction came across as if Claressa was trying to tell another grown woman what she could or couldn't say, something Geisha believes wasn't appropriate between two professionals. Because of that, Geisha says she wasn't surprised by Alicia Baumgardner's reaction. From her perspective, Alicia's response didn't happen out of nowhere or without reason. Instead, she believes it was a direct reaction to the way the conversation was initiated. Geisha argues that the tone of an interaction often determines how it unfolds. In her opinion, once the exchange began on a tense note, it quickly escalated into a public confrontation that drew widespread attention across social media. Whether viewers agree with that assessment or not, Geisha maintains that the way the conversation started is the key reason the situation unfolded the way it did. According to her, understanding those opening moments is essential to understanding the entire controversy.
You and Papoose, and to tell that lady to shut up. She's a grown woman. First of all, you was very disrespectful. You was very disrespectful, and whatever energy Baumgardner gave you, you deserved, because you was telling a grown woman to shut up. And you was telling her you hate that she talk. You was telling her all the things like you was her parent, and you not her parent. So that's why I say, when these people be posting Claressa to have her back, they really need to evaluate the situation, because that was really jacked up. That event was for professionals to come and watch other athletes gain win their championships. And you come there with some old ratchet, ghetto, I'm taking up for my man type energy. And Pap was in on it. Because Papoose could have stopped you. He could have been that reasonable person in your ear before you walked over there. He knew why you was walking over there to that girl. Everybody was like, oh, Papoose can't control her. No, Papoose did not want to control her. Papoose heard what she said about them, and Papoose wanted Claressa to check Alicia Baumgardner.
But this is where Remy Ma believes the story takes a completely different turn. According to her, one important detail has been overlooked, and she argues it's the part that could change how many people view the entire situation. In Remy's opinion, Papoose wasn't simply standing by as everything unfolded. She claims he played a much bigger role than many people have acknowledged, even going as far as describing him as someone who helped set the situation in motion. According to Remy, Papoose had multiple opportunities to calm things down before the exchange escalated. She believes that a few words from him could have diffused the tension and prevented the confrontation from becoming a public controversy. Instead, Remy claims Papoose chose to remain alongside Claressa as the situation developed, rather than stepping in to discourage the interaction before it reached Alicia Baumgardner. From her perspective, that decision gave the impression that he wasn't trying to prevent the confrontation. Because of that, Remy argues Papoose's actions deserve just as much attention as everyone else's. In her view, if he had intervened at the right moment, the encounter might have unfolded very differently. Whether people agree with that assessment or not, it's one of the central points Remy continues to emphasize as the debate surrounding the incident carries on across social media.
Weakest person. The reason why he ain't saying much, because he's an instigator. He could have stopped that before Claressa even walked over there. But he walked over there with her. That's how I know you in on it. And then you sitting around here, you got all these blogs reposting you, talking about how much of an asset and what you gave to the boxing community and all that. Yeah, but you also gave drama and you also gave unprofessionalism too. You're very unprofessional and you really need to sit this one out. I'm glad they banned you because you need to sit this one out until you learn humility. Everybody's talking about, yeah, but Alicia said she'll fight you right now. Yeah, but she wouldn't have said that if you wouldn't have walked over to her.
But this is the comparison Geisha believes sums up the entire situation better than anything else. According to her, it's the one example that makes her perspective easy to understand and one she thinks viewers will remember long after the conversation ends. Geisha argues that the confrontation resembled a schoolyard disagreement more than an interaction between two accomplished professional athletes. She says that comparison perfectly reflects how the exchange appeared from her point of view and why the incident immediately captured so much attention online. According to Geisha, what stands out the most is the contrast between the people involved. She points out that one of the world's most accomplished boxing champions became part of a public confrontation connected to ongoing relationship speculation, all while cameras were rolling during a major sporting event. In her opinion, that's what made the moment so surprising. Rather than the focus remaining on the competition and the athlete's achievements, she believes the conversation quickly shifted toward personal drama and social media headlines. Geisha continues to argue that the controversy ultimately overshadowed what should have been a celebration of the sport. Whether people agree with her assessment or not, she believes the incident became a reminder of how quickly personal stories can dominate the spotlight, even during one of the biggest events in professional boxing.
And prevent it if you never walked over there to that young lady. You went over there to check her. So even if she didn't jaw jab back, even if she didn't get slicked back, you still went over there to check her. So that means you went over there to be problematic. You went over there to start trouble. Like you in elementary, middle school, high school. You was a grown-ass woman fighting over a married man. You a grown woman fighting over a married man. I don't care how many letters you write and you post on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Girl, you initiated when you walked over there to Alicia Baumgardner. Because you was mad of the video that she stated that your Billy Goat looking ass is parading around with a married man. And she said that you are a heavyweight champion and she was giving you credit. Like, why would somebody of your stature? This was what she said in the video. Why would somebody of your stature, your success, mess that up by parading around with a married man? And it's the truth. It's the truth. And you got mad because she spit the...
Now, this is where Geisha introduces the comparison she believes explains the entire situation. According to her, what happened wasn't a game of checkers, it was a game of chess. She argues that Alicia Baumgardner stayed several moves ahead mentally throughout the entire exchange, making strategic decisions instead of reacting emotionally. In Geisha's view, Alicia didn't have to do much to make an impact. She believes the way the situation unfolded spoke for itself, and the public reaction ended up doing more than any words ever could. According to Geisha, that brief confrontation shifted the spotlight away from what should have been Claressa's biggest priority, her upcoming fight. Instead of fans talking about training, preparation, and the championship matchup, social media quickly became consumed with discussions about the exchange itself. Geisha believes that was the real turning point. In her opinion, the biggest win wasn't physical, it was psychological. She argues that Alicia managed to change the direction of the public conversation with very little effort, while the attention surrounding the event moved away from boxing and toward personal controversy. Whether viewers agree with that assessment or not, Geisha says the headlines tell the story. Rather than celebrating a major boxing event, much of the online discussion centered on the confrontation. That's exactly why she describes the situation as a game of chess instead of checkers, believing the battle for public perception became just as significant as anything that happened inside the ring.
MVP event, and you decided to walk over to her to check her. You walked over there to check her. And it ain't worked out in your favor because Alicia played up under your skin when she said, girl, I'll fight you right now. That's just talk. You an athlete, a professional athlete. You got to deal with the public. You know they tell you ignore certain things so it don't ignite you and get you out of your body and have an out-of-body experience. Girl, you let Alicia Baumgardner play chess while you was playing checkers, and she trumped your ass. She what it is, checkmate your ass out of fighting in the boxing arena. You said you had a fight coming up August. You ain't think about that fight before you stepped to Alicia.
But this is where Geisha tries to strengthen her argument by pointing to something she believes is more tangible, the difference in weight classes between the two fighters. According to Geisha, those physical differences are an important part of the conversation. She notes that discussions about a potential matchup have included the challenges of competing at different weights, and she believes that context shouldn't be ignored when people debate the rivalry. That leads Geisha to the question she says no one has properly answered. In her opinion, if Claressa truly believed Alicia wasn't a serious challenge, there was a much better way to prove it. Rather than exchanging words during a high-profile boxing event, Geisha argues that the real place to settle any disagreement would be inside the ring. She believes championship fights, not public confrontations, are where athletes earn respect and answer their critics. From Geisha's perspective, actions in competition carry far more weight than heated moments outside of it. She says that's why she would rather see any rivalry resolved through a sanctioned bout instead of becoming another viral social media controversy. Whether people agree with her viewpoint or not, Geisha maintains that the ring is where questions should be answered, and she believes that's the only stage capable of settling debates between elite fighters once and for all.
What you say at this point, who walked over to who is the question. The real question is, who walked over to who, and we'll see who started the controversy. Because you could have caught her at another day. You could have even lost that weight that she required you to lose to get to 147 pounds, and she go from 130 all the way up to 140, and you could have took it out with her in the ring. Since you say she's so little and she's so easy to beat, and she this and she that. You saying all this stuff, but at the end of the day, girl, who walked over to who? Who initiated the big argument for the slap to take place? You did. So who's the problem? You. MVP made a great decision to ban you from all MVP.
Aisha closes out her commentary with what she describes as her strongest point of the entire discussion. According to her, no public statement, social media post, or interview can change the question she believes sits at the center of the controversy. In Geisha's view, everything comes back to one simple issue: who decided to approach whom? She argues that once people answer that question, every other detail becomes far less significant. That's the message she leaves with her audience before turning her attention to another key figure in the story. Geisha then shifts the focus to Papoose, suggesting that his role in the situation deserves much closer attention. According to her, he was close enough to witness the exchange and may have had an opportunity to help de-escalate the situation before it became a public controversy. Rather than viewing him as someone merely standing nearby, Geisha argues that Papoose was in a position where his words or actions could have influenced how the encounter unfolded. She believes that possibility raises important questions about the overall sequence of events. As she summarizes her perspective, Geisha explains that every point she's raised, from the confrontation itself to the relationship speculation, the discussion about potential matchups, and even her earlier comparisons, all lead back to the same central argument. In her opinion, however, the biggest unanswered question isn't just about what happened between Claressa and Alicia. She believes Papoose's role is an equally important part of the conversation. According to Geisha, if he had chosen to step in at the right moment, the outcome might have been very different. Whether viewers agree with her conclusions or not, that's the perspective Geisha continues to stand behind. She believes those unanswered questions are what transformed a brief public exchange into a much larger conversation that continues to fuel debate across social media.
To further notice, because you walked over to Alicia Baumgardner. Alicia Baumgardner would have never had the chance to say, "I'll fight you right now," if you would have never walked up to her. If you would have never walked up to her to check her, that would have never happened. Claressa, sit your whole entire ass down. It's nothing that you can type, write, speak upon to let us feel sorry for your behavior because you are a professional athlete that should have avoided that tension. And you make me feel like Papoose put a battery in your back because Papoose walked over there with you. Papoose is an instigator. He initiated the whole thing because he could have easily told you don't go over there. Baby, it ain't worth it. But because he was being talked about too, he was right behind you because he wanted you to check her.
And with that, we'll wrap up today's discussion. Geisha shared her perspective from start to finish, explained the timeline as she sees it, and made it clear that she stands firmly behind the opinions and arguments she presented throughout the conversation. As always, it's important to remember that many of the points discussed reflect personal opinions and public commentary rather than confirmed facts. Ultimately, it's up to viewers to consider the information and draw their own conclusions. What do you think about everything that's been said? Do you agree with Geisha's perspective, or do you see the situation differently? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.